82. Handling errors 4. 9.1. Biggest score we've gotten so far. Woo! I'm so proud to be of that winning lineup. 2017. Won my first title. In box. Let's check it. Now going back to what we said at the beginning of the career. Dan Carter Challenge. We set ourselves to be one of the best players. And look at that. We come off at one of the top try scorers in the game this year. So look at this. Crusaders, tie hard stop. James Marshall from Hurricanes. I get 60 points. James Marshall 10. Jonathan Adendorf 10. Mao Adrian from the Stormers 8. Brent Franks 8. How do I scroll down? How do I scroll? Top goal kickers. I am nowhere near. Top point scorers. That's what I really wanted. Was the top point scorer. Probably not this year. Not in the top 5. But I'll take the top try scorer. Best top try scorer any day of the year in competition. But anyway. What a year. What a game. That summed up the whole year and how it was. I'll click advance in just a second. Let's just look at what happened. Look at this. We've got Australia coming up in our first clash for the All Blacks. And look at this. I'm just looking. Contracts are up. But anyway, let's click advance. USA and Japan. USA win 32-12. Continue round 1. Quad Nations, 4 nations, All Blacks. We've been signed. We got no inbox. And we're clear to go. GIO Stadium against the Wallabies up next. And I will announce the teams in just a moment.
Before we move on, I'm going to go through the new current squad for 2017. 4 nations Rugby Championship clashes coming up very, very soon. So we're going to go through all the way through to the reserves and the remaining squad. All right, so here we go. Craig Miller. Not sure what city team he represents, but he's their loose head prop. Kevin Mialamu at hooker, Auckland Blues. Tony Woodcock, Auckland Blues. Paul Toimalo from Northland Tanifas. I'm not quite sure what city team he represents. Sam Whitelock, Crusaders. Karen Reid, Crusaders. Talani Sue, Chiefs. Victor Vito, Hurricanes. Kane Hansey. Where is he from? I'm not quite sure. Oh, he's from Counties Manukau. Bowden Barrett, Hurricanes. Seta Tomanivalu, Chiefs. Ty Hotstop, Crusaders. Conrad Smith, Hurricanes. Corey Jane, Hurricanes. Israel Dag, Crusaders. On the bench, don't know why he's there. I don't know why he's there either. Stephen Luatua, Auckland Auckland Warriors. Are you kidding me? Auckland Blues. Jackson Himapo. I'm not quite sure where he's from or what city he represents. Damian McKenzie, Chiefs. Colin Slade, Crusaders. Robbie Fruin, Crusaders. Tim Nanai Williams, Chiefs. Aaron Cruden. Now we're going into the remaining squad. We've just come off the reserves now. Remaining squad. Aaron Cruden. Don't know why he's there. Marty McKenzie. Francis Saili. Julian Savia. Karen Fonotia. My man. Sam Kane. Dylan Collier. And that's it. There we go. There's your squad. 2017. Tamani Valo has replaced Julian Savia, who played last year. I'm not quite sure what's happening, but it's all pretty much the same boys that were on last year, if you guys stuck around. I'm not sure who this Craig Miller is. But if we look at here, look at this. Kieran Fonatia. He's been accepted. He's been selected. Hopefully he'll get his first running game with the All Blacks. Hoping he's in the remaining squad. He's not in the reserves though. But we'll see. He definitely deserves to be there. Julian Savia is also there. Sam Kane. Some new boys. I don't know why this guy pops up so many times in the game, but there you go. There is the All Blacks for the 2017 Four Nations clashes. We're going to be up against Australia, and what else should I mention actually? Now next I want to talk about my player, my pro, and stats especially. Now what I noticed and what's cool about this game, right, is your stats are forever changing throughout the whole entire season. And unlike Rugby League Live 3, where your stats never drop, your stats just keep rising and rising and rising, and you'll never become any worse than when you started. Well, potentially when you started. In Rugby Challenge 3, your stats can deplete. And they can deplete very, very fast if you're not keeping up with your game. That's important, and that's really good as as a player, because obviously you don't want your performance to drop. So that's where the line of poor performing comes in, and that's when your contract is up for cancellation, because you got to keep up with your form. You got to keep performing. You got to keep playing very, very good. And that is the key of the game, because if you don't, many people have found out that you get fired and you can't, that's the end of your career. And some people don't like it. Some people, I just love that it's realistic. Players do get out of form. I was 83 star two games ago in the semi-final. I went into the semi-final at 83 star rating. I came out of that semi-final and my star rating went from 83 to 81. Right, so then I went into the final, the actual final, at 81. And then it bumped it up to 82. So my pro rating is always changing. It's always it's either depleting or it's going up. And that's really, really cool, because players realistically, if you look at it, do become out of form. They do perform pretty bad over the season. It's not all picture perfect for yourself, for your player. So I think that's good. I think that's a good take on your player and how the stacks add up to each game, how you play, and it's really good. I mean, it's gonna hurt you if you're not playing as well as you should be, but it's gonna uplift you when you're playing on your role. I think that's all I have to say about that. Also, injuries. We were lucky. I think we had one little stinger of an injury during the Super Rugby season, but we were pretty lucky to not come off any real serious injuries that delayed our playing time. Because if you guys remember the time I was injured with the Rebels last year, for 8 weeks I was out, and I kept getting I got those inboxes where the coach was saying that I wasn't performing well, even though I wasn't performing at all. I wasn't even on the field because I was injured. But that takes into place where, are you kidding me? Your contract is on the line and could potentially be fired, which is what I've heard from the guy, and what I've noticed on some of the snapshots on Rugby Challenge 3 on Steam, where people have been getting fired because they haven't been playing, they've been injured. Some guys have even complained to the developers about that, and really that's not really realistic. I mean, true coaches can terminate your contract if they feel like, you know, you aren't up to standard. But for you to be on through an injury, I mean, it's a lot tough for the player to be able to keep up with their performance because they're injured, you know. So it sort of makes sense. So it's sort of harsh to keep getting messages like when during injury to say that you're not performing well with this game, and that you know, the club is going to drop you, like what happened to me. I think I was very, very lucky that I ended up going into the All Blacks. I'm lucky that I ended up injured right near the end, because that was right before the Rugby Championship of 2016. And that's when I played with the All Blacks and started to get my stats back up. My injury was over. I started to get my stats back right, and I was able to get some more contracts into Super Rugby for this year. So I consider myself lucky for that. Probably extremely lucky that I didn't get my contract cut. But anyway, I'm not going to focus on that. We're gonna head into our first All Black game of 2017 up against Australia Wallabies. What a good clash of a start that would be. We're heading over to GIO Stadium. I'll see you guys there in that video. Up next, see you then. Boom.